Accident in the Forest. Written by Tracey Reader. Illustrated by Kelvin Hawley. All aboard, the driver called. Chin, Ling, and their grandfather, who climbed into a small carriage on the Forest Express. "You'll enjoy this trip," said Hu, smiling. "The railway goes through the forest and ends up at a dam." "How do you know all this?" asked Chin. "I was part of the team that built the railway," replied Hu. "It was used to get workers to parts of the pipe where trucks couldn't go." "What pipe?" asked Ling. "The pipe that brings water down from the dam to the houses in the city," said Hu. Before the train started, the driver gave a talk on safety. "Why is the driver telling us all these things?" asked Ling. "So you'll know what to do if there's an accident," replied Hu. "It's sensible to follow his instructions." The train wound through the forest. Tall trees stretched their branches up into the sky as though they wanted to reach the clouds. Small plants hid in their shade. Soon, the train came to a tunnel. "Wow," said Chin. "This tunnel's not much bigger than the train." "Why are tunnels so low?" asked Ling. "Not all tunnels are low." "This tunnel is low because it's been built only for trains to pass through," explained Hu. Suddenly, there was a loud thump. The train stopped with a jolt. A loud crashing sound echoed through the tunnel. Everything was black as night and the tunnel quickly filled with dust and smoke. "What's happened, Granddad?" asked Ling. She was frightened. "Will we be all right?" asked Chin as he began to cough. "It looks like the roof's caved in, but everything will be fine," Hu said calmly. He reached under his seat and pulled out a flashlight that the driver had told them about in his safety talk. He switched it on. They went into the driver's cabin. The driver was slumped on the floor and blood was oozing out of a cut on his head. Ling saw the blood and started to cry. Quickly, Hu took a towel from his backpack and held it tightly to the driver's head. "Listen to me carefully," Hu said to Ling and Chin. "We need to get out of the carriage and go back down the tunnel. Pull your t-shirt up over your mouth and breathe through it. That will stop the dust making you cough. I'll bring the driver and follow you. You'll need to shine the flashlight so we can see where we're going." By then other people had put their flashlights on and had begun to call out. Some were frightened. Some children were crying. Everyone was coughing. Ling took the flashlight from her grandfather. "Follow the side of the train," said Hu. "You won't fall over if you do that." By now, the driver was awake but dazed. Hu explained that he would help him out of the tunnel. Other people were getting out of the carriages and making their way back down the tunnel. The extra light from all the flashlights made the going easier. Suddenly, a big insect landed on Chen and he yelled out. "Get it off me! Get it off!" he cried. Ling quickly brushed the insect off Chen. "It's just a bug," she said. "It looks scary but it won't hurt you." Soon, they saw the light at the end of the tunnel. A woman who had been at the back of the train had a phone. "Please call the police and tell them we've had an accident in McLeod's tunnel," Hu said to her. "They can get a helicopter onto McLeod's flats. Tell them the driver's injured, but not badly." Soon, all the people were out of the tunnel. Many were tired and scared and some had bruises and cuts. It started to rain, so Hu took his raincoat out of his backpack and put it around the driver. Then, Hu took out a spare sweater and put it on himself. "Remember the safety talk," he called to the people. "Follow the instructions. Put on your spare clothes and huddle together to keep warm. Everything will be fine. The helicopter can land on the flat land at the top of the slope. Then, the rescue team will help us up the slope." Within an hour, the helicopter arrived. 2 rescuers moved down the bank using a rope for support. The driver had slumped over again and was leaning on Who. Man at this end needs a stretcher. We'll have to airlift him, one of the rescuers called back to the helicopter. Soon, the helicopter was right above them. The driver was put on a stretcher and pulled up to the helicopter. We'll have to make 3 trips, one of the rescuers said, but we'll have you all out of here by the end of the day. I thought you said we'd enjoy this trip, Granddad, said Ling as they waited for the helicopter to come back. You will when you look back on it, said Who. It's not every day you have an adventure like this.